Welcome to the One Trail at a Time podcast. I am your host, Boogie. So, for all of you that somehow grace me with your presence because you found me on the podcasting networks, um, I'm actually, I started everything on YouTube. I am a outdoor enthusiast. I love everything, mostly everything nature, you know, in hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, bird watching, weird as it sounds, right? So I started out 2 years ago uploading videos to YouTube, uh, gear reviews, things that I used in my early stages of backpacking, mistakes that I've made, things that things I just learned along the way. Watching other creators on YouTube helped me or motivated me to go out and actually enjoy nature on my own after so many failed attempts of trying to get other people to go out with me. It just so many times I had plans to go out with people and they canceled out because of they said they either had to work or they had other important things to do, and mostly it was just that they didn't want to work that hard on the weekend. Believe it or not, camping, backcountry camping is hard work. uh, but it's work that I actually enjoy. So why did I end up filming what I was doing? One, so I can prove to people that I was actually going out and sleeping in my hammock or a tent in the middle of nowhere and not being afraid to do it. That, and I wanted something to look back on with the views and my emotions and just it's everything that comes with just being outdoors. So often we get caught up in working, family, and these aren't bad things, don't get me wrong, but we kind of forget about solidarity and solitude. And these are big things when it comes down to self health. For me, I push myself a little bit every time that I go out there. Not really, getting too adventurous and doing anything stupid. Maybe there's a couple things that I do that is a little wacky, but most of it is just good, safe fun. But it's always an adventure. I see something new every time I go out. I experience something new every time. Another thing that really drew me in to backpack or camping in general, my nephew and I decided that we were going to pack up one weekend and go camping, just run out. And we took more stuff than we can carry. Well, no, we were car camping. We took way more stuff than we needed since we hadn't gone out before. We didn't know what we needed to carry, so we had way, way too much stuff. Now, that was my first learning experience on just being prepared and not worrying about the small stuff. And when I say the small stuff, we were going out for a weekend and I was concerned with how are we going to wash dishes and how were we going to stay warm? Although that's a valid one, but I went out there with a um, we went out there with a little heater. It was really cold when we went out, and we didn't use the heater that much, but it rained the whole time. It was difficult to make a fire. We were stuck in there with a dog. It was rough. It was a rough camping experience, but I vowed not to be defeated and to go back and try again. And again, I did. I went back out the next time with my son, and this was early summer around the 4th of July, and we went out and we had a great time. We took bratwurst, hot dogs, soda, and we were at a campsite. We were at St. Joe State Park. That's kind of like my test bed campsite. It has a state park. It has a equestrian trail, so I can get out there with my fat bike. If I had a horse, I could ride a horse on it. It's a great hiking situation, and the terrain varies quite quickly. It can go from mud to loose gravel to sand. It's a very unique place, and I really enjoy visiting it whenever I can. Um, so, being that park defeated me the first time, I went back with my son, and we conquered. We ate good. Um, we talked. Me and my son actually communicated pretty well that weekend. At the time, he was ooh 13 or 14, maybe, and we had a good time. We had a good time. We bonded really well out there. There's an embarrassing story, of course, that I have about that venture, but we'll talk about that one later. So, in getting back to just talking to other YouTubers, not talking with other YouTubers, but watching other YouTubers and their adventures, it motivated me to elevate in the lifestyle of backpacking, which led to solo hiking because I really couldn't get anyone that was willing to go out by themselves with the bare minimum. Because when you're out there, face it, you guys know you're out there with the bare minimum. You have your food, you have water, you have something to filter water, something to make a fire if you're into that, something to cut with because you just can't leave without, you just can't go out there with no type of knife, right? But you learn to live with the bare minimum of things. My end game goal to this lifestyle is to eventually have the capability to go on a through hike and spend months out on the trail and hike several thousand miles just to say that I did it, I achieved it, this is what I worked for. And a lot of you out there are probably working towards the same goal. And just like people are encouraging me to do it, I want to encourage you to do it as well. And this is the reason why I started this podcast. Every Friday morning, I am your drive to work, your motivating force to get out and do something this weekend, no matter the weather. The, I have had great times in the rain, in the snow, in the heat. Sometimes it's been a little uncomfortable, but I regret nothing. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this first episode. There is much more to come every Friday. You can catch me on my YouTube platform, releasing it there first, and then it follows on to whatever podcasting networks that I can get to say, hey, we'll let you get on. I'll see you guys. Well, you'll hear me in the next one. Remember, guys, live life one trail at a time.